Dear friends, good afternoon for everyone. Today my story is about a medicine that is based on ancient Ayurvedic knowledge, of Oriental medicine in the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. For the past 8 years, I've been using this drug in practical help to people suffering from a wide range of chronic diseases of various life support systems of the human body. During this time, Kumdang-2 has shown a high degree of effectiveness in the treatment of those diseases, which for economic reasons Orthodox medicine calls incurable. Depending on the type of infection and anamnesis, the drug can and should be used in conjunction with other non-traditional drugs. Traditional medicine to achieve maximum therapeutic effect. One of the properties of the drug is its effect on a wide range of viruses, including, which are hidden in the intercellular space, where they cannot detect and destroy macrophages, cells of the immune system, whose main task is to destroy harmful objects in the human body. The term macrophage was introduced by the famous scientist Mechnikov. Kumdang-2 in the form of injections is a herbal solution from Korean ginseng, also called insem, which is grown in a very original method in Kaesong province of North Korea. The solution contains ginseng polysaccharides, rare earth trace elements, microdoses of gold and platinum. The originality of the cultivation method lies in the fact that gold and platinum are assimilated with the plant during the growth process. In special plots of ecologically clean protected forest areas, the soil is fertilized with a colloidal solution of gold and platinum. Then seedlings are planted to women in conditions where other plants create certain conditions of sun exposure to the growing plants in conditions as close as possible to the natural environment. In this way, the feminine naturally selects micronutrients directly from the soil. The production is kept in strict secrecy, but everything secret, as you see, somehow becomes revealed. I started an in-depth research 5 years ago after a number of strange recoveries of hopeless patients after using these injections. I became interested in the question of the purpose of the trace elements gold and platinum in the composition of this plant, and my search for the truth was crowned with success. It is curious that only 6 years ago everyone could buy nano-gold or nano-platinum from several manufacturers, including in Russia I personally found in St. Petersburg. The very next year after I called the same company, they refused to sell it to me, referring to some order of some authority, and hung up on me. It turned out as follows. Particles of nano-gold and nano-platinum have an unusual property to identify the cells of the human body, which are affected by pathogens. The study of the mechanism of such selectivity clarified that each healthy cell of the organism works on a certain clock, or simply vibrates at a certain frequency. When a cell is affected, it changes its frequency, and gold and platinum are those elements that detect the frequency mismatch and attach themselves to the affected cell. And gold determines one type of frequencies and accordingly pathogens, and platino another type of frequencies and also another type of pathogens. It turned out that the frequency of the cell can be either at a higher frequency relative to a healthy state or at a lower one. In one case, as I said, it's gold that identifies it, and in the other case, it's platino. What is curious is that gold is a masculine metal in Eastern philosophy and esoteric practices, and platino is a feminine metal. If you attach a female ion to a particle of gold and platinum, the gold and platinum ions will fulfill function of a transport system that delivers drugs directly and only to the affected cells. It turned out that this technology is used to treat cancer by attaching chemotherapeutic drugs, i.e. poisons, to nanogold particles. But this technology is used hidden from the eyes of commoners for economic reasons. There is nothing new in this world under the golden sun and silver moon, my dear friends. While doing research on ancient Ayurvedic treatises, I found a description of the technology of making a similar preparation by the healers of ancient times, For the preparation of a medicine similar to MDIS, they took the urine of a mountain yak because it has certain acidic parameters because the animal feeds on certain herbs. It was used to make an infusion of other herbs or a decoction that was needed to treat a particular disease, and then the gold plate was heated over coals and the reheated plate was repeatedly dipped over and over again into a pot with an infusion of healing herbs on the animal's macha. The drug was used orally because there was no such thing as a syringe. Curiously, almost all of North Korea's medicinal forms are created not for the purpose of making money for the companies that produce them, but for the purpose of actually curing diseases until the patient is fully recovered. The Ministry of Health of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea is not part of the infamous sect called the World Health Organization, which is in fact the spawn of the pharmaceutical international corporations. The Ministry of Health of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea is not part of the infamous sect called the World Health Organization. Almost all preparations produced in the DPRK are made from plant raw materials and according to ancient and very effective Ayurveda recipes. That is why I recommend them for healing people, in addition to herbs and minerals which are used to prepare infusions, lotions, and ointments on an individual basis. Kumdang-2 affects the main department of the central and nervous system that regulates the activity of internal organs, glands of internal and external secretion, blood and lymphatic vessels, as well as the autonomic nervous system. The drug stimulates the hypothalamus. The drug has anti-inflammatory, antiviral, and antibacterial effects, launches tissue regeneration processes, activates naturally immunity, stabilizes the processes of homeostasis of the body, and promotes antioxidant processes in the body. Unlike synthetic drugs, Kumdang-2 does not have any side effects and negative consequences. There is also no contraindication, the drug can be used together with other drugs. No pain is felt during and after the injection. The injection is mainly used for therapeutic purposes, but it is also useful for prevention, since it rejuvenates, gives energy, beauty, and increases immunity. Indications for use I will tell you in detail. Liver disease, including viral hepatitis. Liver damage from toxic substances, alcohol, antibiotic ingestion, drugs, COVID-19 vaccinations. Gastric diseases, gastric bleeding, smooth muscle spasms, diseases of the large and small intestine, pancreatitis, food poisoning, diseases of the thyroid gland, diabetes of various types, neuralgia, neurosis, chilliness, insomnia, hypotonia, impotence, tuberculosis, bleeding of the uterus and other organs, various polyps, myalgia, diseases of the central and peripheral nervous systems of various theologies. Curiously, in the acute course of viral diseases such as influenza, including the new COVID-19 strains, as well as acute respiratory infections and allergic dermatitis, the effectiveness is extremely high and very fast. It is also used in postoperative rehabilitation, including after cancer, and in the process of inflammatory processes, loss of appetite, drug addiction, drug toxicosis, oral diseases, arthritis, rheumatoid arthrosis, spontaneous gangrene, epilepsy, infertility, painful menstruation, cystitis, a wide range of sexually transmitted diseases, anti-aging, to name a few. Why such a universal remedy? Because I have already told you about how this drug works inside the human body, how the affected cells are identified, and the effect is on them.
Как идентифицируются именно пораженные клетки и воздействие происходит именно на них.
Macrophages are attracted to them and they destroy those pathogenic cells. Ion of Kessin woman also activates macrophages, gives them strength if we explain it in a very simple way. Therapeutic action can be described in the following way, that Kumdang-2 stops side effects and poisoning by chemically synthesized drugs of modern pharmacological system. Industrials are especially recommended to be used in conjunction with taking antibiotics and chemotherapy for drug or alcohol toxicity, in particular, when taking anti-cancer and anti-tuberculosis drugs that cause serious side effects. The drug should be used together, with them together, and also the drug is allowed to be used in children from 1 year of age. Notes before use, i.e., information you need to know. Kumdang-2 is an entirely herbal preparation. Clinical records show that patients who used it independently of the main treatment modality had a higher recovery rate. According to clinical studies, the center of these percentages of patients were cured completely. Injection should be given intramuscularly and/or intravenously. The effects of intramuscular and intravenous administration are almost the same, but clinical trials show that intramuscular administration is more effective. It is recommended to administer the injection alternately intramuscularly and intravenously. With only intramuscular injection, the injection site may become hard, a bump may form. It is necessary to massage the buttock well for 5 to 7 minutes after the injection. So far, no drugs have been found that antagonize Kumdang-2. That is, it is compatible with almost all. According to the history of the disease, it is possible to use the injection together with other drugs. In this case, Kumdang-2 gives a more stable effect because it interacts well with other natural drugs. It is necessary to use different syringes, and it is advisable to inject into different buttocks if you use Kumdang-2. Injections of another drug. Methods of administration and dosage. Kumdang-2 is prescribed according to the weight of the patient and the history of the disease. On the first day, you need to start with a small dose, 1 or 2 ampules, and from the next day add 1 ampule each. Generally, in the box there is an instruction with a detailed application of the 2 schemas. Apply once or twice a day. After 4 days, take a break for 1 or 2 days. After 10 days, including the days of the break, inject 7 or 8 ampules 2 or 3 times a day for 2 or 3 days. Then it should be discontinued for a short time and resumed according to the patient's condition. In order to have a strong effect on the disease, it is necessary to adapt the patient's body to this drug and then strike a crushing blow to the disease. This is the most effective way of application, and it is exactly what is described in the system of application of the device in the manual, which is also available in Russian and SID. Let's have a look at it now. What the drug is, this is a packet. So, on the packet there is a little thingy like this, I'll talk about it later, and it opens from the side. There's a little sticky tape, and I'm going to open it for you. This is what it looks like. This is what it looks like. This is how the tape opens, and then we open the box. So, in the box we see the instructions, and underneath the instructions we see 8 ampules. So the box has writing on the box on different sides of the box. There's a coin like this, and then actually a logo sticker, a hologram. Let's see what the instructions are. The instructions are in Korean, of course. The instructions are in English. These are the instructions in Russian. On the back in Chinese. This instruction if I understand it correctly, it's Kazakh language. So the instructions on the other side are in German. These are the instructions inside about the ampule. So in an ampule we have contains 2 milliliters each of solution. There is a modern ampule, which means that it can be easily broken, and no additional devices are needed to do so. For a person in need of urgent care, a whole pack of 5 to 8 ampules can be administered at one time at intervals of 4 to 6 hours, and in many cases this dosage has been able to save critically ill patients on the verge of death. The effectiveness of the application depends on whether it is administered at a suitable daily dosage, according to the diagnosis and the physical aspects of the patient's condition. It is worth noting that prolonged use of just 1 or 2 ampules a day does not give the expected therapeutic effect. The instructions for use of the drug contain several languages, and in Russian you can read everything carefully. There are 2 main ways of using the drug. In the case of age-related and complex chronic diseases, I recommend patients to carry out laboratory tests and to develop the treatment system individually, and not to use standard schemes, because in complicated cases the treatment should be done not only with MDANs, but also with other herbs or drugs from North Korea. There are necessary explanations for the use of the preparations. Approximately 2 days after the first injection is obviously felt a burst of energy, stabilizes the function of the nervous system, significantly alleviates the symptoms of the disease, pain relief, improves complexion, and stabilizes the digestive tract. In case of relapse of the disease, it is necessary to repeat the second and third courses of treatment according to the table, or inject under 5 ampules 1 to 3 times a day. In some cases, after 2 days of use, patients may experience mild irritation of the body organs affected by the disease. For example, a person with impaired cardiac function or cardiac disease may experience palpitations, and hepatitis patients may experience mild liver irritation. Kumdang-2 does not irritate healthy organs of the body. There are no contraindications. On the days of application of the injection, it is allowed to eat any food. As I said above, there are no side effects. It is recommended not to exceed the maximum dose. The drug has been widely known in certain circles in the world since 1989. Its contribution to the promotion of human health is so great that in 2005 the Central Bank of the BPRK issued a gold coin in its honor, which, as a matter of fact, is right here. Well, it's not gold, of course, but you know what I'm talking about. The efficacy of the drug has been confirmed by decades of research and clinical practice, represented by hundreds of hospitals, medical teams, institutes, and institutions epidemiologic Korea and 30 different countries, by the way, including Germany, as well as feedback from millions of patients. The injection helps patients to cure hard-to-cure diseases, has a wide range of actions, and gives a fast therapeutic effect. If you have any questions that you have not found answers to in this video review, you can consult either me or another expert who has information on the substance of the above. So, dear friends, kiss you all.
Всех вас
Hugs to
обнимаю.
all of you.
Не
Take care. See you
хворайте.
soon.
До новых